So it's officially 7. We have not reorganized our board yet, so I'm just going to call the meeting to order. And we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So, everybody is here except for Jody. We have a new member joining us, Troy Hudson-Giller. He is the new city representative. He replaced Adam Vaughn. And we'll just do, minutes first, and then we can reorganize the board, if that works for everybody. Did you see any glaring mistakes, typos, whatever?
I have a question, Jaden, on the top of the back page. It says Jesse Hansen, Hensler resident, asked if the moratorium pertained to personal solar uses. Mm-hmm. It did not, we said.
It did not. Nope, this was specifically for industrial.
Do we have to put it did not in the minutes? Because that was a big deal to him.
We can definitely add that in there. I mean, I can put that in there and adjust the minutes officially. That's what you want to do. You just have to let me know.
That's a good idea.
It's a valid point.
Thanks for catching it.
So it just pertains strictly to commercial.
Yep. Commercial, industrial.
Industrial, commercial.
Yep.
Of what you're starting, just so I get up to speed.
No, you're fine.
Yep.
Okay.
Aside from that, was there anything else that you saw?
Make a motion to approve the minutes
Okay.
with the small.
With the addition.
Yeah.
Second. Is that, do you want it for both sets of minutes, November and March?
Yes.
Okay. Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okie dokie. So, now we reorganize the board. I would call for nominations for chair.
Nominate Lonnie as chair.
Nomination for Lonnie as chair. Is there a second? Lonnie, do you accept the nomination before we go any further?
Yeah, because we reorganize each year, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay,
we
yeah, for
reorganize
this
each
year I
year.
would
Yep.
do that.
Okay. Is there a second to that
I second the motion.
Okay. Okay, we have a nomination and a second for Lonnie as chair. Are there any further nominations? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to cast a unanimous ballot for Lonnie as chair.
So,
Okay. I've got a motion by Bill and a second by Cassie?
Yep, sure.
Okay. For unanimous ballot for Lonnie. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Lonnie, you're it.
now I'm on, so I have to entertain a motion for vice president, correct?
Yep.
Okay, we will entertain a motion to nominate someone for vice president, and just to review a little bit, Bill has been on the board for a while, Cassie and Linda. Who wants to do it? I mean, being you guys
Put it
just,
out there.
I'm just saying, being you just guys came here, it
Yeah.
probably would be, I'm just,
I would like to abstain from being nominated as a, this joining
Bill
committee.
was vice chair last year.
Bill was vice chair.
Yeah. I don't wanna do it.
That's
I've enough on my plate.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
Then we'll need a motion.
I make a
nominate.
motion to nominate Bill.
I make a motion to nominate Bill as vice.
Well, Linda did. Is there
Oh,
a
I'm
second?
sorry.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded. Any further discussion? Then, that motion is to cast a unanimous ballot. How does that work?
So you got the nomination and the second, and then you need a motion and a second to cast a unanimous ballot because
Yep.
there's no further nominations.
Somebody has to make that motion.
I'd move to cast a unanimous ballot.
And a second to Cassie's.
I second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Bill will be the vice president. I don't believe we vote on the secretary, Jaden, because you're that by century code,
Yes,
correct?
Yes.
by law, I am secretary, so you can't
You can't throw
kick
her
me off. So I'm here, yeah. Part of my job.
Okay, and that's it for our
That
board.
is up for reorganization. Yep.
2025 calendar, what do you have, Jaden?
It's basically
I
the,
got it right here.
oh,
Okay.
there you go.
Getting fancy with the technology now. So these are the remaining meeting dates for 2025. And what we basically need is for your approval, do these dates work for everybody?
Work.
It is the fourth Thursday of the month.
Except for the last 2 months.
Except for the last 2
with
months.
the holiday.
Yeah, yep. And should in the future these dates not work for a majority of board members, we can adjust them. It's just that this is our general, like, we need to have just a calendar to put out there for the rest of the year.
I will not be at the April meeting if that's the date.
Okay. I mean, we can always adjust if needed.
I don't know what I'm doing next week.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. so-
We did that it flowed pretty good the last years when we had to adjust the dates.
Oh yeah, and it's just a matter of, I'll shoot an email to you guys saying like, hey, 4 people we're not going to have a quorum at this meeting. Do you want to adjust the date or do we just skip till the next month if we don't have any permits pending, kind of a thing? We did that the last couple of months where we really didn't have anything for the agenda, so we just didn't have a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
That's doable. They've done that in the
And we
past.
can do that at
so-
April's meeting too. Just if we have nothing, then it may be just cancel.
That would work.
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the calendar for 2025.
I'll second it.
Well, we need somebody to make the motion first,
I'll move to approve the calendar.
and then a second.
I'll second it.
And any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The calendar's approved. Then we have a building permit.
So Beth Kohler came in last year, for those of you that have been on the board since last year. She came in with a conditional use permit and a building permit for a single wide mobile home. She called me a week or 2 weeks ago and said they want to move a different home onto the property where the single wide was. So this is just a new mobile home
Same place, but just,
replacing the one that was there.
Yeah.
So,
Is this Vernon Smith's land?
I think it might be, yeah. So I have it up on the map.
yes. It is.
I
had
have a
it too.
circle there. Township 143, range 83 west, section 22. So it's just south of like Ethan Stagley's place. Yeah, I want to say that's where it is because
It is.
they're just north of that. It's the Minn Kota Road, but the gravel part.
Mhm.
No, this
No,
isn't the
no,
one
no,
I'm
no,
thinking of. This
It
is
isn't.
not, it is not very.
No,
Oh,
she
no,
pulled-
that's
she
the last
pulled-
one.
She
Yep.
didn't do that. She started it, but then he passed away, and so
Okay.
they had to like kind of put it on hold for a little bit.
Yep,
Okay.
this is the different one.
Yeah.
So where is
different.
this?
So this is up, so you know where like Weddles live? It's just north of there, like about a mile north of Weddles, where Helmers are.
Oh, okay,
Yep, on 33rd Avenue.
okay.
So kind of right in between Stagley's, Helmers, Weddles, the Joe Schmidt vacant farm.
Yeah, the farm's on that, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there shouldn't be any issues being they're just replacing it.
Yeah, they're just-
Right, there's no concerns, but to follow proper procedures, here's just another, this is her handwritten map. She said it's the exact same thing as what she did last year, it's just they're replacing the home that was there with a different one.
It's not any bigger,
It's I think
single to double wide
I
or
think
anything
it's
like
a
that.
double wide.
Yeah, I don't know if that makes
But
any
it
difference
doesn't-
without reading the code.
No.
I don't know. It's a question.
Mm-mm.
Basically.
No, because we already
Sure,
did
everything
the conditional use that
Yep.
we give residentials.
Yep. She's got everything. I mean, the septic system is already there, so we don't have to worry about that. And we typically don't worry about that anyways because that's a Western Plains public health thing with the septic systems within the county. So there's really,
Yeah, because that'll have to be signed off by them in order for that to be.
Yep.
Insurable.
Yep.
So that's
So-
their request to get that inspected.
yep. So there's nothing really out of the ordinary with this one. It's just basically taking what they had, replacing it with something a little bit bigger.
Mhm.
So with that, I'll entertain a motion to approve this building permit.
I make a motion to accept the Beth Kohler House building permit number 1056.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Nancy seconds. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote all in favor.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay.
Hey,
Do you have the
I have a
folder for that?
procedure question. I only ask for a roll call vote when you
That
can't hear or there's something that
Yeah.
could be controversial.
For
Okay.
a building permit, typically we don't do that because it's, I mean, unless somebody really has an issue with it, then we would kind of do it that way. But
Yeah.
for the most part, no. Conditional use permits, most likely we should do roll call because those are a little bit more.
Yeah.
Depending on what it is, I guess. But
Do you have the folder?
Yep.
So I can have them sign it.
oh, I didn't make that sheet yet. I have to print that.
So we're moving on already then to ordinance discussions.
So if you have not heard already, the county commissioners at their last meeting voted to lift the moratoriums on solar data. Based on a conversation that was had and brought forth by a Mercer County commissioner where there was some incorrect information that was brought forth that they didn't realize until after the fact. So we're here to discuss ordinance work, but also possibly reinstating of the moratoriums discussion, because from conversations that I have had with two of the commissioners, they would consider reinstating them while we also actively work on ordinances for both those types of facilities. But I'm leaving that, I will leave that up to you guys to kind of, how do you want to hash this out? I'm just giving you the information. I have looked up and also talked to other planning and zoning directors about ordinances specifically for data centers right now, because that's been a really big hot button topic at the legislature and within counties. So I do have some templates for data center ordinances as well as solar, but to give us time, we could consider putting the moratoriums back in place.
Jid, I don't know, this is news to me, I don't
Yeah.
understand, because I thought our moratorium was, basically, in layman's terms, we wanna hold off until we have some planning and zoning.
Yes. Yep. So what happened was a commissioner from Mercer County came in and gave a little bit of a talk about how he was informed that the legislature and some industry were putting pressure on counties in coal country to lift all moratoriums, regardless of what they are, because they feel that it's hindering industry coming in. And it's like, we don't want them. And it could have been in our favor in a way because there was a possibility that an amendment would have been presented to increase the county's coal conversion tax revenue from 15% to possibly 30%, but that was never a guarantee. And because of what happened at the last commission meeting, it will not be happening at all because of how things were presented and talked about. And it put the legislature and one of our legislators in a very bad position. And so it's just not happening. So they lifted these moratoriums and are now discussing what next steps to take. And Dave is here now, so he can maybe pop in a little and give us some more insight on that one.
There was some, I watched it, there was some discussion also about a couple of the House bills that they're working on. And they want to withhold funds from counties if you have a moratorium, because basically they want to have certain developments, they want to have places to put these developments, and the money that they're offering for grants comes from the oil industry, the tax from the oil industry. So
Prairie dog funds.
right. So basically, the legislator is basically threatening the counties. To withhold any grants for any infrastructure stuff if you have a moratorium in place because you're making yourself look unattractive to industry.
Yeah.
So basically it's we're going to withhold money from you because you're making the state look bad
That was 2208.
as far as being an energy.
And that bill, the Senate bill itself, that 2208 did fail.
Yeah.
So that one we don't have to necessarily worry about. But there is an equivalent on the House side, 1258, which is similar in what it's trying to accomplish, but it's not outright saying if you do this, you do not get funding. But it's similar. It's basically taking away the power of counties and townships from zoning certain energy transmission facilities, so like transmission lines, pipelines, etc. Basically kind of doing a preemption type situation, but there's like caveats to that of, funding and whatever.
And cities.
And cities, yep.
So if we hurried up and put an ordinance in place, it might not have any bearing, is what I hear.
You're right.
Well,
It could go to court pretty easily. But
not
if you
necessarily.
want to protect yourself, you better have them all.
So I did some digging and I did speak with the planning and zoning director in Morton County, and I said, is there like a cheat sheet quick guide for what counties can and cannot do as far as zoning? Pipelines are a no-go. We can't do anything with pipelines. Like oil and gas, you don't touch that. We can, at this point in time, unless the state would have some sort of bill that changes this, we can do solar facilities, data centers, wind farms, certain above ground, and her word was appurtenances of CO2 sequestration wells. So like above ground portions of that, nothing underground can we do anything about.
So basically they can put in that CO2 pipeline and nobody can say anything.
Pretty much, yeah. They can do, because
That's a byproduct
They
of
have to-
burning the coal. It's
they
not
have-
an energy.
They have to get through South Dakota though.
Well, true. but
yeah, so
just
it's a
playing that
it's a
commercial on TV a
preemption
lot right
thing.
now.
So if it's a transmission, so a transmission line, whether it's a power line, a pipeline, basically anything that's moving the product, the state has authority over it. Should they come to the counties for like a conditional use permit? If they want to have a good relationship with the county, I think it's recommended, but it's not required. Oil and gas wells, you can't you can't touch those. Like you're not, anything like that. But when it comes to like a conversion facility, like creating that power or whatever it is, we can still have ordinances to an extent. Obviously, there's things that the state has in law that you can't really go much above and beyond, but there are things we can do because the state doesn't have a lot for these. And PSC does say that with a lot of these, because they are the regulating authority, they actually look to the counties for what they're saying or doing with their conditional use permits. So like if we say, here's our setbacks, and they're not overly restrictive, the PSC isn't really going to have an issue with it. It's when they're starting to say like 2 miles setback from everything is when they're going to be like, well, then you can't do it at all. That's a little bit above and beyond what you should be doing. If it's like 500 feet setback is what the state has for something, and we say, well, how about 1,000 feet or 1,500? And they don't find that unreasonably restrictive, they're not going to have too much of an issue with that. The company may, the PSC may say, well, this is also allowed at the county level to zone this. We don't see an issue with it. So that's just kind of where I'm at, what we can and can't do. I'll get a more comprehensive list and I can send it to everybody. But now the discussion is with everybody, what do you want to do? We can still do ordinances, but do you want to consider reinstating the moratoriums to allow us to have a little bit more freedom and less like pressure to get it done right now? Or do we
who's
just...
who's that pressure come from? I mean, do we actively have anybody?
We don't have
applying for
anybody
a permit?
actively applying or looking into it. There has been some discussion about at least one data center company coming in and a few solar facilities. I know there's landowners that have signed agreements with some solar facilities, but nothing has been brought to the county level yet. So there's no active pressure. But if you have a moratorium in place, it kind of tells these companies like, just don't try yet or right now.
Well, that was kind of my question. If you remove the moratorium
Mm-hmm.
and they still have to apply for a permit,
Yep.
and it comes through us anyway.
Yep.
We have no guidelines.
Well,
Right,
we have
don't
no
any
guidelines.
so that gives us
But
the
we-
opportunity to pause it.
Yep. So we
So-
do have the authority to say, well, we're actively working on guidelines. We have some questions about this, and this. We're not going to hear your permit until this date. Like we can, to an extent, say we're holding off on hearing your permit. We don't have to schedule a hearing for it right away
Right.
if we don't feel comfortable with doing that, especially since we don't have guidelines. But if we do that and don't put moratoriums back in place, we should consider actively working on something.
How fast can our committees work? Like,
It depends on who's on your committee and if you want it to be a subcommittee or if you just want the full board to work on it.
So you asked me to reinstate the moratoriums?
we didn't
Take
get
a
that?
couple months.
Okay, I don't understand what you
Well,
just said.
no, not necessarily a couple of months. So if you want to reinstate those moratoriums, I have to publish it in the paper at least 2 weeks in advance of a hearing / first reading of those moratoriums. If you wanted to do it and have a special meeting in 2 weeks from, not this Thursday, but any day really, if you wanted to do one 2 weeks from next week sometime, I'd have to publish it in the paper next Thursday and the following Thursday. So the week after that is when you could do that hearing of any day, not a Thursday, Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I prefer not weekends, but
All the hearing for just the moratorium.
if you want to reinstate them. It's the same process for an ordinance, but that will take us longer, obviously, because you want to get the wording right and make sure that we aren't legally overstepping where we can't overstep.
Well, my question is, how long do you think it would take our committees to come up with a rough draft of an ordinance? 3 months?
Did you talk about Morton counties yet? So Morton County's working on a good one right now for carbon capture.
Okay.
So it sounds like once they get it done, we could adopt it. So that would be.
Well,
I looked
we
some of
can-
these
This
up
is,
too.
I think we're only on
Yeah.
solar and data centers now.
Right, but we can, as a county, look at another county's ordinances, and if we like what
Yep.
they have,
We can redo our
you just
carbon ordinance
fit
with
that
theirs, you know,
into
that was
what-
following
You
you.
basically adopt it.
yeah, you basically copy it,
We
you
don't
change the
have a
wording to
carbon
fit
ordinance.
Oliver
It's shut
County.
down.
Alright.
This is
And
my
then-
mom, she's sick, I gotta.
What did we learn? Watford City and Williston have really good ones for data centers. And,
How'd that start out though? Because they got themselves in some scenarios. with
Well, they-
Yeah.
police and-
that's why next week I'm going to Jamestown. Northwest Landowners is having a meeting in Jamestown. And I'm going to it because Northwest Landowners has a lot of power.
There's a lot of
To shut this
counties,
down.
that have sent to like the planning and zoning directors group have sent their ordinances that they're working on. Most of them are drafts, some of them are final, specifically for data centers. A lot of them are really good. So in my opinion, don't reinvent the wheel.
Oh, for
See
sure.
what other counties have
Look at that section.
and look and see what would work here in Oliver County. Most of these counties that are working on these are following what we are allowed to within the law, but there's literally nothing on data centers specifically
Well, see,
in
that's
the
the
law.
thing, is I see it as a bigger picture, so when
Mhm.
we keep just talking about the moratorium and the permitting process, we also talked about having the industrial zoning,
Mm-hmm.
so what's the general public consensus on where this industrial zoning would be?
Right.
Are the people that are signing leases for the solar company 25 miles from where the other part of the people
Right.
want the industrial to be?
Yep.
So I mean, that's all
Mhm.
I think part of making the decision
Yes.
for the moratorium.
Yep.
So I think that should be part of the discussion too.
Mhm. No, I definitely agree with you on that one. As of right now, that industrial zoning thing is still basically being talked about, worked on with the state's attorneys in like the coal counties, especially right now. There's a few others, I think, but like there's nothing been brought forth yet.
Is there anything out on Association of Counties? Have they put out any kind of literature?
We watched a video the other day, but they're not.
Are they taking a stance in the
So
direction?
not really.
No.
NDACO and the League of Cities did come up with a data center template that got sent out to us today, and I can say that parts of it I looked at are fine. Like it's general language, you find it in ordinance. When you look at the setbacks, it's really minimal. Like, it's not much of anything. But there again, it's just a template.
Yeah.
You take what they have and you adjust it to fit what works better for you as a county, what the people kind of want, what you as planning and zoning think is better for the people here. To me, that's our most important thing right now is we really need to listen to what the people are saying. If there's people that come in with concerns, it's our job to listen.
We gotta start doing some research ahead of time so we understand their concerns a little better.
Well, then we were at a meeting a month ago with BNI and Mid Kota. So the Mid Kota guys were saying by 2050, they think hydrogen or nuclear is going to get big
Take more power than
because it's probably safer to do nuclear plants.
Well, they're talking about making them smaller, not as.
Yep, and not as noisy.
Right.
And you won't have the rods and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot we don't even know that.
Right. And there's nothing saying that these ordinances, once we would write them and adopt them, if that's what the ultimate decision becomes, you can go in and amend them as needed. It's a process, but it's doable. We did it with parts of our ordinance last year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a doable thing. It's just, we shouldn't not have anything,
I agree.
especially with some of these newer industries. We don't know. You're hearing things about some of the places in the state that have gotten some of these data centers and how there's a lot of concerns with noise, with the energy, with the heat. There's a lot of concerns and issues with them. Rather than waiting for one to come in and then having to deal with the aftermath, why don't we try to
Be proactive.
get ahead of it and
Well, they've got that data center they just put down in Ellendale.
Ellendale.
Mhm.
Just where Armstrong went down there.
Yep,
And they
yep.
made the approval to where they can have their own extra generating power for power outages. I couldn't really find anything negative about that one.
Right. Yep.
But the Williston one, you find all kinds of stuff
Yep.
that's negative.
Yep.
But in my opinion, that's not in any
Them
oil
self-sufficient.
competing type of
Yeah.
scenario.
Well, and there's one that they're looking at putting up by, I think it's Underwood.
Yeah.
But they want to put it on mine/power plant property, which to me is a better use of the land than putting it on somebody's like farmland or, you know, a residency area kind of a thing. Put it on an already industrial zoned area.
See, I was thinking that too, because I was looking at like some of the satellite maps of the coal mine and where they've moved over the years. I mean, wouldn't it seem logical if that's already zoned industrial and they're doing a lot of that kind of work up there? You could say get one of these developers for a data center to work with the mine, and when they get done mining in an area, rather than reclaiming it, making it back like it was, it could be pre-developed for
Yeah.
an industrial park.
And it's also dependent on the lease agreements that the mine has with the
Yeah.
current landowners.
Well, right,
So if-
right,
yeah,
right.
but if it would go, you know, the landowner doesn't want anything to do with it, they could potentially turn it into an industrial area.
Right.
And I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing then, because then we have a place that we can say, yeah, this is zoned industrial and they're willing to work with you. We feel more comfortable doing it there than in the middle of Joe Schmo's field where it affects the surrounding landowners because of noise and whatever. The only other concern I had heard about is that with these data centers, they take up a lot of energy, and the rates of the people living there end up getting increased because of how much energy that these facilities are using, and it has to get distributed somewhere. I don't know how all that works. I'm not, you know, I don't know.
There's the other side of it too, because I read stuff about how Milton Young idles down for part of the year when there's not as much need. So I mean, how much idle downtime are they actually doing in a 12-month period?
Right.
I mean, so would they just be able to run year round instead of having to idle down at all?
Well, and I think it's dependent on the energy sources, because I know they talked about at that meeting, they have to idle down the coal plant because the
wind picks
there's
up.
wind or hydropower that's being used instead, and so they have to find that balance of, you know, so it's
I don't
not that
think the
they,
technology is there to try to
Right.
balance that yet.
yeah,
Well, we were at a meeting two and a half months ago, Beulah. Now they've got what they call rare earth minerals,
Mhm.
which is the top seed. So what is it? Shane Gettle met with us,
Mhm.
and B&I is a very good prospect for doing that. But the problem, because B&I has the leases, but it doesn't, you know, and which is the coal. Well, that top seed of coal is where the lithium minerals are. Well, it's going to end up going to court because the landowner should get paid for that. Where B&I thinks we got a lease, it should be ours. But Shane, how he explained it was they would build a facility out here and haul that in, take that, whatever they need for lithium batteries, and then they'd ship it to Nebraska. I think where the
I
factory
think
is
so,
going to be.
yeah.
And they'd ship it down there by semi. So we asked, well, what's a semi-load worth? Probably millions, he said. One semi-load of that mineral.
But the
So there's a lot of
waste,
stuff coming into.
the waste side of it is huge. Disposal of what's left over
Right.
once you extract it.
Like you said, they were talking about building that plant right by in the Minn Kota area.
Well,
In 400 people employed, they said? Was
Yeah,
that-
they never really gave us a number, but yeah,
I,
could be.
the Jane and I, prior to me coming onto the council, I just tried to get a little bit up to speed, and I had made a statement to her, a question basically. These data centers pull power,
Mhm.
a lot of power, to where you see the lights dim when they kick in. So I think it should be reached out to somebody in the energy board, energy side. We put this up and this comes in. Can you show us what happens to our local customers or our people in Oliver County?
Mhm.
What happens to this power rate? Now we're peak season, it's 25 below outside, and this place is trying to run, you know, whatever amount of computers to mine this. Pretty soon we're at peak in the dead of winter, and our residents are grabbing
That's the reason they're trying to upsell putting it here, is because they can just open up the vents and cool it off instead of having to use
Yeah.
energy. That's
Well,
what they say.
But, no,
The
I don't know
servers
if,
have to
if
use
you've ever
energy.
been around a mining computer. I have.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was actually at a small one. It's in the guy's office. I mean, it fits on this table right here. He heats 2 rooms, a bathroom, and the front office in his shop off that computer, mining. It would heat this room with no other heat. I mean, they pull an immense amount of power.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's maybe somebody we should reach out to. Is the Energy Council got something? It's got to be looked at nationwide. Somebody's got to be
Yeah.
looking at this.
I think right now, a lot of counties are looking at, like she said, all these moratoriums and ordinances. And for us to put the time into it, we can't afford it, right, as a little county. We gotta rely on Morton County and Montreal and all them. And then bounce off of theirs.
See, and then some of the ones I've looked up, they've got different scale sizes.
Sure.
So you got the
Yep.
immense ones.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's gonna be the thing is, you know, we agree that, oh, if it's the size that this is, then yeah, that's not gonna be a big
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
And then they come in and wanna put one
A
in
bigger
twice
one,
that size.
yeah.
Yeah.
It could have an effect.
Where are we as far as our subcommittees go?
So at the last meeting, all I did was ask who would be interested. And Cassie, Matt, and Bill said they would be interested. Bill said solar. Cassie and Matt said any of them would be fine. When I talked to the county commissioners at the next meeting,
Bunch of slopes.
they didn't really take any action on it because we had one commissioner who said, well, that's not how we've done it before. We've just had the whole planning and zoning board work on it. Because I had brought up how, like, Morton County, other counties sometimes do these subcommittees and they have a person from industry and a person from the general public come in with the planning and zoning members and a commissioner that sit on these subcommittees, and they work on this together because you're getting input not just from your planning and zoning board and your county commission, but you're getting it from somebody who's within that industry and somebody who lives here. And you're kind of getting an idea from everybody as to what is needed, because we can't say, no, you can't ever come here. Like, we can't do that. It's not allowed. But we can say, you can come here, but you have to do this, this, and this. You have to follow these rules. And if we can make something that's workable for both the people that live here as well as the industries wanting to come in, I think that is probably the best thing we could do right now, and not cater to one over the other.
Well, I kind of am deducing that we wanna,
We don't have a plan yet, Lonnie. We don't have a subcommittee. Other
no,
than
I
we have.
think we wanna, I kind of feel that we wanna do a moratorium. So we can plan, cause we can plan without one, but then we're risking short time if someone applies.
You're risking a possible increased pressure to finish it, and possibly doing a rough shot job. I mean,
I don't know, at the last, Jody's not here, she was in favor of lifting them at the last meeting.
Yeah.
That's why we have 7 members.
My personal feelings is this data center thing scares me without rules. But at the same time, we don't want to be unattractive to the industry, but I think it would,
here's my
right thing
opinion
to-
on industry. If they really want to come here, they should be willing to work with the people here, with the board, they should be understanding that we just want to make sure that we're taking care of everybody here, not just the people, which are really important, but also industry, because we don't want to get run over by them, but we also want to make sure that, like, it just works for everybody. And, that's my opinion. Take it for what it's worth, I guess. But,
well, if we do vote on a moratorium tonight, I would sure like to see a plan of when we're gonna have an ordinance
well, I mean,
done, or
no,
worked
I
on,
get
or-
what you're saying. So we can't reinstate the moratoriums tonight. We can vote to
recommend to the
have
commissioners
have a hearing. So we can do a first reading in like 3 weeks from now, and then it goes to the commissioners, and then we can do it that way, or wait until next month's meeting. It's up to you guys how you want to do that. Or the commissioners can say, let's have emergency meeting and we'll reinstate these
It still has to be posted publicly for 2 weeks.
for 2 weeks. So I would get it to the paper like tomorrow to be published next Thursday and the following Thursday. And that following week, we can do the first reading on a Monday night and have the second reading on a Thursday, and it passes. I mean, it doesn't have to be a
Copy of
2 week
both
apart
of them are
difference.
What do the commissioners, didn't watch last meeting, what do they want?
They didn't know what the hell they wanted.
They want to remove them and look at.
So, when just lost me, Casey Boyd came down. So Anna Novak submitted a bill that if we, how would I say that?
Okay, so I'm gonna say it for you so we don't get her
So we don't-
in
yeah.
more trouble.
You say that.
So there was a bill presented by Representative Novak to increase the coal plant's tax holiday, basically a tax break for another 10 years. This is to help the coal industry, so they're not having to pay extra tax dollars so they can continue to flourish rather than go away. This bill was introduced. One member of the Mercer County Commission went to the first hearing for this bill and said he opposed it because he didn't think it was right that the state was getting 85% of the coal conversion tax money, and counties were only, just coal counties were only getting 15% of that coal conversion money. He wanted to see that amount increased from 15% to, he wanted it to follow the oil and gas revenue, which I think is
30.
yeah, maybe even a little bit more. But so what happened was the discussion was that the legislature and industry and the state Department of Commerce were getting a little frustrated with all these counties having moratoriums in place, basically hindering, stopping industry from coming in. Like, we don't want you here, you're bad, it's, you know, a bad thing. And their comment was that if the moratoriums would be lifted, there would be more of an appetite to give more coal conversion tax dollars to the counties versus not. And so the discussion was, if we lift these moratoriums, an amendment would be considered to be presented to also include in this bill increasing the coal conversion tax dollars. The way it was presented at this last meeting was incorrect, and it got our representative in some hot water with the legislature, Lignite Energy Council. Like, it was a whole big thing, and now she can't present this amendment because it would fail, and her bill would fail, and then we'd have even more issues. So, because of that conversation that happened at the commission meeting, the commissioners decided to lift the moratoriums because, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but they thought that this could potentially benefit the county as far as getting us some more,
If the bill would have passed.
if the bill would have passed and
Which
the
means
amendment
this was a
had
gamble.
been presented.
That we gambled.
Yeah.
And we blew it.
So after that meeting and after we had gotten several phone calls from a lot of people, I had talked to both Dave and Rob about it, and both of them said that maybe we should consider reinstating the moratoriums and or immediately working on an ordinance. Ordinances take time. Moratoriums kind of buy us a little bit of time without possible pressure. Not saying that there's anything in the pipeline right now, but there could be. So
Even one thing about the ordinance, say if we have one, we read about Burley in Evans County, right? Well, they're gonna get sued by Summit eventually, because they have ordinances. But thank God South Dakota did what they did. And now Iowa's, I believe it passed their house, right?
I
To shut, not allow eminent domain. So that's saving us as far as Summit.
but as
But
far as
Big
like,
Quota,
yeah, as far as these solar and data center facilities go, by law, we're allowed to do ordinances. I don't think that we would get sued by anybody for having ordinances in place unless the state would pass some sort of bill that, you know, basically says what it says already about oil and gas and CO2 pipelines, that we preempt you because we have the authority to do so. There's nothing on the books right now for these, so we are okay to do them within reason, obviously. Like, even the PSC, I did speak to Randy Crispin, and he said, you know, obviously within reason. If you're going the 2 mile setback
from everything, that's a little bit unreasonable in their opinion. Is it unreasonable in some people here? Probably not. Not in this room, but residences, whatever. Within reason, we can do this by law. We are allowed. It is okay. So despite what you may hear from others, we can do it
Well,
as long as it's not just super washed.
I thought the commissioners were gonna pick our committees, so we were independent of them. But now it sounds like
we talked about that also, and I brought it up, and I said these three are interested in serving on the committees. Then there was some confusion of we've never done that before. The Planning and Zoning Board as a whole has just done it, and then they've sent it to the commissioners for approval. We've never had subcommittees, and I think we've never had anybody but county appointed board members making these rules and decisions. We've never had a general member of the public or industry come in and help us with this. I don't know. In my opinion, I think it's a good idea to have these subcommittees, but that will mean more meetings for those of you that are on the subcommittee. Do you want more meetings, or do you just want to meet as a whole board and discuss these? That's entirely up to you guys now, and I guess if the commissioners want to have one of them on in these conversations, that is more, I would guess more than welcome, because we would like to have a county commissioner kind of being like, us as a commission think this is a good idea, but this isn't a good idea, or somebody to voice that off of, because ultimately these are going to end up at the commission's desk anyways for approval or denial.
Spend 3 months trying to put it together, and then
Well,
the
that didn't happen.
commissioners.
We're gonna have 19 meetings,
Yeah,
Let's see.
A
and the
lot.
commission at that time shut it down.
yeah. So,
I have a suggestion.
Uh-huh.
Having it once a month prior to this meeting.
Like an hour prior.
Like an hour and a half prior. That way you guys talk about it. Then you come to this meeting and say, hey, we discussed, if you want to.
That's not a bad idea.
And then
because
you're here
And
Yep.
it's for
already
Yep.
for this meeting.
See,
so
what a
this
lot of-
board would be the
ultimately we could do a subcommittee of 3 members. 4 would be a quorum, and then it would be a planning and zoning meeting
that's
anyways.
supposed to be.
But we could do a subcommittee of 3 of you, and we work on both ordinances. Or we do a subcommittee and we do one for solar, one for data center. Personally, I think let's just do one and work on both, and then have our meetings prior, if that's what you so choose. Come to the planning and zoning and say, hey, this is what we've worked on.
Or like I said, or just don't say anything.
Or
Unless you have a question.
Yeah.
Until you guys are done
Yep.
doing what you're doing.
well, it sounds to me like the commissioners want us to do it rather than get input from non-county people right now.
Well, and that's kind of, I think that was part of the issue, but also like having a general member of the public come in and give their opinion, and then somebody from industry give their opinion, was maybe not palatable. We'll just put it that way. Maybe it was just
they
not
can
like-
do that at the reading.
Yes, they can.
Well,
Yep. Except that they took the non-county person's
Right,
input and
taking a
canceled the whole thing.
a non-voted.
I don't understand what you just said,
Well, we
Linda.
had the moratoriums in place, and then
Right.
we listened to a non-county member and got rid of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but that's the way the executive is set up in the county.
right.
So we just have to say, hey, we're rethinking this. We send it back to them if we so choose to do.
Yep.
And, yeah, I mean, that's in the past, I think.
There's something, I not have to look into it, but to have a non-elected or a non-appointed by commissioner, general public, it almost has to be to an open meeting for everyone that wants to town hall.
It
Oh, wow.
is. So Morton County is doing this right now with their subcommittee for direct air capture. And they have a couple planning and zoning board members, I think 1 or 2 commissioners, because they have 5, so they can have up to 2 at a meeting. A member of the public and a member from that specific industry. They are the ones that are having the conversations, writing up the ordinance, drafting it. They go back to planning and zoning. Public is allowed to attend these meetings.
Right, okay, that's what I did.
The one thing that I have read about like open meetings, you can't stop somebody from coming in, but you can restrict them from,
Participating.
Yeah, because we never get anything done.
yes,
Yeah.
yep, you can restrict, they can be there and listen all they want to, but as a committee, a board, whatever, whoever is running that specific portion of the meeting can say, we're not opening to public comment at this time. We're working on this. If they so choose, they can have public comment. But that's why you bring a member from the general public to come in and kind of, basically that's kind of their liaison that's on those committees.
Well, there was,
But
A lot of them is
Yeah.
commissioner.
there was just something in our League of Cities
Yeah.
meeting here about,
you can't
Public
stop
forum.
them from coming in.
And-
See,
Yeah.
most counties are going to even planning and zoning. A lot of them are going to where the commissioner on that, the weed board, the commissioner should be on that.
Yeah.
A lot of counties are going to it.
I know there's,
That way you've got a liaison to go
there was a
present.
pretty large discussion on that at the city about if you open up to public.
Yep.
You might hear what you want to and not want to, but you
Yeah.
Oh,
cannot
yeah.
stop that
Northern County
conversation.
don't let anybody speak.
Right.
We won't open that up till the hearing then.
Right.
But do you have some information to get us started? Do you have some templates? and
I do
stuff?
have several for our solar and data centers that I have found and that have been sent out to like the planning and zoning directors group. So I can send them to everybody and we can start the process as a board as a whole. But if we want to do a subcommittee, I would, let's decide tonight. Do three of you that were showing interest want to meet an hour before the meetings to discuss this, or do we just want to leave it up to the entire board as a whole?
What happens if we look at the information that you have as the entire board, the first meeting, and then go from there? 'Cause
I mean, that's doable too. You guys have to tell me what you want to do. I'm just here, like, helping you and taking minutes.
these committees we just spin our wheels.
Yeah.
And it takes us forever, so we gotta have an orderly
A
fashion.
starting place. Yep. And that's fine. If we want to come back at our next meeting after I send you what I have from other counties and kind of go from there, we can absolutely do that. I don't have a problem with any of those options. I
Kinda
just,
like Lonnie's idea there, at least everybody read it.
Yep.
Circle the one you're after.
Yeah.
X the one you're not,
Mhm.
and then work on it.
Yep.
Start getting
Well,
a
that
couple out in the
way,
lead.
if we do vote to suggest a moratorium, at least we said, we got a plan, we're starting on
Yeah.
it,
yep.
there's an end in sight.
Yes, and that's fine. I put this on the agenda because I know we kind of talked about it at the last meeting, and then, I had to give you an update as to what the commissioners kind of decided or did not decide, and then, that I'm just giving this up to you guys as a board to decide how you want to handle this, and I will follow through with what you want me to do. That's why I'm here. So,
And keep in mind, even if someone does approach Oliver County, one of these boards or businesses come, they can still submit a permit.
oh yeah,
Doesn't mean that you're turning them away. You
Yeah.
can accept the permit, but you don't have to approve or vote on it.
Well,
But you can still entertain the idea of someone approaching us.
But how long can you put that?
Well, and then I don't know what legal time is that you can stop a permit.
That's what my question
yeah.
is.
So
To
if you
stall
have
it
a
out.
moratorium in place, you have
But
a little
that's-
bit more leeway as far as like, well, we have a moratorium, and until that's lifted, we can't hear your permit,
Yeah.
but you can submit it, and I'll let you know. Whereas if we don't have something and they submit it, you're kind of running into, you can hold it off for a while.
Right.
But after so long, then it becomes, why haven't you done anything with this?
Right.
You can say we are actively working on an ordinance and are not going to make a move on these until we have something in place and give them that reason, but then that means
They put a date on.
you put your nose to the grindstone and we gotta get it done, and then you run into, well, what happens if we miss this, this, and this? That's,
So the moratorium does another step of protection, but
Yeah.
the permit can be stopped too.
yeah. But if we vote to do a moratorium, that's just a suggestion to the commissioners. They may get that and say, no, we're not doing it.
well, and we
And
can,
that gives them an option though.
we can do it like we did this last one. We do the first reading, of a moratorium and send it to the commissioners at their next meeting, and then they can decide yes or no.
But you almost need to take it to the state's attorney to make sure it's worded right.
We're gonna use the same one that we
Yeah,
used the last
oh,
time,
okay,
so
yeah,
it's
you
already
already
been
looked at
taken
it.
care
But
of.
it's gonna be their final.
Yeah, but
Vote.
that gives them another option though also.
Yes.
They can say yes or no again.
Yes, yep.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
I don't either.
No, like I say, what we did, we got ahead of ourselves.
So this could actually help,
It could make a difference.
Yes.
Change it up, get up with the times.
yeah, because we're not forcing anything, we're just suggesting, hey, let's,
Take a deeper look into this before we move forward.
yeah.
Right.
And it's gonna be yay, and it's yay or nay at the commissioner level, not this level.
Yep, this is just the initial
Suggestion,
phase. This
yeah.
is our advisory. We advise you reinstate these moratoriums. The exact same wording as the last time. We did our first reading of them. Now it's up to the commissioners to say yea or nay. I mean, that's what any of these are. We can approve a building permit and they could turn around and say, heck no.
No.
I mean, like if they really want to.
We're probably to the point then that if somebody is considering this, that we could take a motion to start this process. Does someone want to make a motion
I'll make a motion to reinstate them.
using the same language?
Mhm.
Then we would need a second to that motion.
I will second that.
Second to the motion. Now discussion, the only thing I would like to add is that a message that we are actively, we're not dragging our feet, we're working on it starting the next meeting.
Yep.
And that's why we did this.
I would like to make a statement on it also. You wanna put in that motion that it contains both solar and data, all of them?
Or
Or do you wanna
separate
Well,
separate them?
what
separate
they are right
before.
now
Okay.
is separate. What they were was separate, and so
So,
my suggestion is to do them separate again because we have wording in each that are specifically for solar and then one for data centers.
so,
We just need to basically take word for word what we had. I will post in the paper, hey, we're having a first reading to reinstate these moratoriums. Wording can be found in my office.
Yeah. so I
So, yep,
mean, probably put an amendment on your motion
Yep, I'll amend the motion to do
to add
a separate
separate.
for solar and separate for data centers.
okay.
Should you approve one first and then do the other motion?
I think you have to split them both because it's a separate.
I'd do a motion just for solar and get it approved and then do the,
Data center one.
So you just wanna like rescind your motion and start over?
Okay, we will start over and I will entertain a motion to instate the data center moratorium.
Cassie has to resend her.
Oh,
Yep.
I will rescind my second on my motion.
Okay. Okay. Robert's Rules of Order aren't my strength after the FFA is 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
60.
50 years,
Oh.
45 years ago. So we have a motion on the floor to recommend the commissioners that we reinstate the data center moratorium. Is there a second?
I will second.
Second. Is there, we had a lot of discussion, but is there any more discussion? Seeing none, we will have a roll call vote. Linda?
Aye.
Cassie?
Aye.
Troy?
Yes.
Bill?
yes.
Oh my gosh.
Matt.
Matt, I am sorry. I was having a brain.
That's all right.
Motion carried. Now we will entertain a motion to reinstate the moratorium on solar facilities.
I'll second.
No, we need a motion
I'll make
first.
that motion.
Linda will make the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Matt seconds it. I'm gonna call for discussion one more time in case somebody just thought of something.
I guess I was just gonna ask Gene about the information that you do have.
Mm-hmm.
But we're probably gonna be presented, just,
So, like, as in, like,
are they two separate?
they are two separate. Yep. So that's what we did. They're in the minutes from the
They are,
November
okay.
meeting. They were presented as resolution like 2024 dash
Okay.
whatever. So it will now be resolution 2025 dash.
So when these get redone, are
Uh-huh.
you gonna make the change to make it the industrial solar to make sure that personal?
Yeah, we can adjust it, or you know, like even when you choose to pass it, like just make the note that this pertains specifically to industrial/commercial, not personal residential use.
Something that we wrote in the minutes down.
Yep.
Okay. That was my only question,
Yep.
Butch.
Time to vote. Bill,
Yes.
Matt, Troy,
Yes.
Cassie,
Yes.
Linda.
Aye.
Motion carried. Comprehensive plan update, Jaden. I don't know what that is.
So, you know, like last year, I gave you guys a copy of our comprehensive plan, and it was from 1973. Okay, so that's the last time that's ever been updated, looked at. It was in a file in the vault. Didn't even know it was there until I found it one day. So the commissioners voted to accept a proposal from SRF Consulting, and they are going to come out and work on updating our county comprehensive plan. We're starting there. The ultimate goal is to also reformat and update our zoning ordinances to basically be in feng shui mode with comprehensive plan, so that they all work together. Their wording is up to date, because right now our planning and zoning ordinance is kind of piecemealed together with the amendments that were made, pulled from other counties.
Do they all have to be amended then?
So basically, they'll walk us through the process on how we do that, but we will have to go through basically like a public hearing process of like, this is what we did. These are, you know, it will be a lengthy process. But with this comprehensive plan, they're going to be meeting with me within the next week or so on like over a Zoom call, just to kind of walk me through the initial phase of this. There will be a steering committee for this. I don't know who that'll all be made up of. I'm assuming some planning and zoning, a commissioner, myself, you know, that kind of thing. I'll know when I know more, I'll let everybody know. But I just wanted to update you that we are in the works of updating and getting into more of the, you know, changing things so it fits into where we are in the world today.
But just like I said, everything, if they change a ordinance or a zone, it has to go public hearing.
And this consulting firm is really, really good.
Yeah.
They know their stuff. They actually put on a lot of the planning and zoning workshops that Patty and I have attended. They're phenomenal. They had it in the proposal. This will include steering committee meetings, public hearings, public meetings of input, like all of the, they know their stuff. So we will be good to go.
Is there a significant cost to this?
So the total cost for the comprehensive plan is about $60,000 to update it. But it is needed, like badly needed.
Well, you said that's 73, you said?
It was written in 1973. So Lee Huslon was actually on the committee that wrote the initial comprehensive plan, and they didn't have like a consulting firm or somebody from the state. It was just people that lived in Oliver County that wrote it.
They didn't have
Didn't
computers.
have cell phones.
No.
Well, that too.
Laptops. Paperwork.
So yeah, so it's needed. It's like they approved it. It's happening. It's just a process. So it's about $60,000. You know,
Sorry, it's just how you said that.
they approved it though, so like not my fault.
I mean, I know
No,
it's expensive,
we do need it. It's
but it's expensive. But
It's older than
it's
I
to bring that all up to date
Yes.
before you end up in a zoning
Well,
or planning. Oops, that's
we,
cheap.
Yeah, so we got a proposal for both the ordinance and the comprehensive plan, and then it was decided, let's just do one first. You can't enforce your ordinance without a comprehensive plan. So you start with the enforcement mechanism, and then you work on the rules. So, yeah, start there. The ordinance is definitely next, because I spent most of the winter working on updating our ordinance by myself, like just reformatting it so it all looks the same. That's why I said, please help. it's a mess.
Oh.
It really is, because even your ABC outline does not follow from each section to the
I thought I
next.
noticed that.
Yeah, so I tried, I really did. But I got through it and I sent it to SRF and I said, I need help. This is not working. And yeah, so they're gonna help us out just one step at a time.
This is really nothing vote-wise, this is just an update.
No, this is
No,
just
it's
an
just an
update.
update.
No, because the commissioners already approved to start the process. Once
Now it's going.
Yeah.
Now it's starting.
once I meet with them, this initial like hour-long meeting, whenever I do that, then I'll let you know like how they want to form the steering committee. They're gonna want to come in and meet with us, whether that's through like a Teams meeting on in here, or if they're gonna actually come to meetings to talk about it. We'll figure that out, because it will have to go first through planning and zoning and then county commission for final update and approval, just like everything else. But they know their stuff. They're gonna help us out and make sure that we're doing it the right way instead of, not.
So just to review now, on our April 24th meeting,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully there's no permits and we will start working with the information that you have gathered so far, Jaden, correct?
Yes, I will send everything to you guys probably tomorrow or by next week. That I currently have.
Well, that's the next public meeting, I mean, that would be the
The April 24th meeting,
first public reading.
well, here's my question for you on the public meeting. Do you want it at the next meeting, like the April meeting, or do you want it to be like, let's have a meeting in 2 weeks from Thursday and do the first reading then, because it would be before our next meeting. That's up to you guys, I guess.
First
So
reading
the moratorium, so like reinstatement of the moratorium.
So cramming a lot of information in a couple weeks to try to
I know.
make a decision on these, how you want this to read and write.
Well, they're already written
No,
up.
they're already
Yeah.
written.
Oh, we're already
They're
It's
just,
just the
Just
moratorium.
motion,
language.
okay.
Yeah,
yep.
basically it's just
We're redoing it.
Redoing
Or
Reinstate,
Yes.
rewrite.
restate.
What do you recommend, Jaden? You've got more of a handle on this than we do.
The next commission meeting is April 10th, so we don't have time to do, well, I shouldn't say that.
And it doesn't have
If
to
I
be
get it in the
Thursday.
paper next Thursday and the following, we could do it April 7th, 8th, 9th, and then give it to the commissioners on the 10th for the second reading and final approval. That's totally up to you guys.
Well, that would give us more time to work on these new ordinances at our regular meeting.
There is a city council meeting on the 7th.
Oh.
Cause
Yep.
I'm in that,
So 8th or 9th.
the 8th or 9th. And it doesn't have to be at 7, if
No, we
everybody's-
can do this at whatever time works for you guys. I just need to know if you want to have a special meeting, so that way I can put it in the paper with the correct date, time, location. I mean, location isn't going to change, but the date and time of the first reading, and then I can at least let the commissioners know that, hey, we're doing this again.
It makes their agenda too then.
Well, then they're up to date by the time they come to their meeting on the 10th. Their meetings are not 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so they're not 8 a.m. in the morning, not in the morning. So,
Sorry.
it's kind of one of those.
Be nice to get it in place before.
Well, I'm just thinking time. This ordinance thing, it's going to take way more time because we just spin our wheels. I mean, I'm not insulting us, but it's just hard work.
I think if we bring it down to 3 people, it'll be a lot better.
Well, once we have our initial meeting, we may decide to do that.
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
You're gonna have to break it.
I'm just recommending it, that, because the last one, it was this person had this. I think 3 people, 3 opinion or input. It's a lot
Put the
easier to handle.
Solar and the data, 3 and 3.
That's what I assumed was gonna happen.
Get it.
But we won't know till after we meet and then we,
Well, and
Tell
that's
commissioners
fine.
Just think about it.
If the commissioners don't approve your moratorium on it, I mean,
then we don't have to meet.
Yeah, Dave.
Well, they did last.
No, we still can meet. If they don't approve the moratorium, we can still present an ordinance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Regardless, we're still gonna have these committees.
So what we would need is a motion on when to have that hearing if someone has a strong feeling.
Yeah.
We need get that business done tonight.
I mean, I'm looking at the 8th or 9th because
Or
if
people
there's
can think about it.
there's
and
city
ninth
council.
we have until Monday, right?
And the 7th is city
Yeah,
council.
I mean,
Can
I
we
have.
go home and we just
Yeah.
if you guys wanna sit on it for a night and.
I have
just
until
email
Monday.
I don't like that. We're here now. Let's just
That's
make a
fine.
decision.
I don't have my calendar.
One member now already said that
The 9th will not.
The 9th doesn't
Make it
work.
I'll be here. So
Is the 9th, 8th,
the 9th is a Wednesday.
Wednesday nights are bad.
So we've got Tuesday then. We've got the 8th, unless you want to come in during the day before the commission meeting on Thursday. Like, and I know most of you work, so that's kind of a no-go. Like, you can't make that work.
Well, either way, we should pick a date even if it's after the commissioner meeting.
Well,
And we
I
still
think
have other council in quorum, right? Even if you can't attend.
as long as there's 4 people here, that's a quorum. If there's 4 people here that can vote on this, I mean, in my opinion, I would really hope that we could have at least a majority of you here instead of just 4, because not saying that it's going to be like a 2-to-2 thing, but in the event that, just saying,
Uh-huh.
it'd be good if we can get everybody here because we're discussing, I mean, like, I know Jody's not here tonight, which is, like, it's not the full board. Decisions like this are hard to make when it's just 4 of you. I mean,
Or
Well-
it would never be a tie vote here because zoning doesn't.
Yeah.
no, I get that, but I mean, like, still, it's,
It'd be nice to have all members input.
yeah.
And if we have a public hearing, we won't have any time left to discuss the ordinances. I know that right now. Unless no one shows up.
Well, it's possible. I mean,
That
we've
no one
already
shows
been
up?
through this process, so if the people
I think the public was pretty good about it.
the moratorium public hearing was pretty good, I think. I mean, there was a lot of input, but I think,
You can post it as not open to public comment.
I mean, it's just a public hearing. You don't have to take public comment if you don't want to.
Or you can put a 2-minute time limit on anyone that speaks.
Oh, I'm big in the 2 limit.
I mean, you
2
have.
minute thing, because 5 minutes.
Are you
unless we-
sure, Lonnie? Because you're
Yeah, you're
2 minutes here.
Yeah, but if they need more time, we can ask them a question.
Yeah.
But
You could just put a
Oh,
timer
no,
for
that's-
Lonnie.
You have the right to appoint that however time you
Yeah.
want to allow.
Yes, yes.
You can put a timer clock on a table.
Yeah.
And then when it goes ding, you're done. So I mean, there is that way to control it also, but
well, you have to control it. It's
I
not
mean,
all the hand up.
Here's my opinion and final thought, and then I think we can make a decision. If you want to reinstate these, we need to do it before the April 10th meeting, because then you're waiting for the May meeting of the commissioners. Like, we need to do this before April 10th, but it can only be, from what I'm seeing here, April 8th.
Which is what day of the week?
It's a Tuesday.
Works for me.
I mean, if you want to do it before 7, I mean, if we can do it at 6, if we do it at 6:30, you give me a time. It doesn't have to be at 7 o'clock. This is just kind of our general, it's always been at 7. Everybody knows it's at 7. I just need to know, so that way I can get the ball rolling on the
published.
paper, getting it set up for the commissioners, so they're aware that this is coming again. I mean, Dave obviously knows, but the other two, the 8th kind of looks like it's our only option, unless we can meet prior to the city council meeting, which is kind of putting a time crunch on Troy and Patty.
Oh, it's equalization at 6:30, so anything prior to 6:30.
So, I mean, you guys just gotta let me know kind of what works best for you.
Somebody I'll entertain a motion for the date.
I'll make a motion for April 8th.
At what time, Linda?
Does 6 o'clock work for everybody on Tuesday?
Make it work.
How about Troy? Or is he just kind of along for the ride?
I think he's along for the ride.
Okay. 6 p.m.
Is there a second for Linda's motion?
I'll second.
Bill seconds it. Is there any further discussion?
Can we have pizza?
Sure.
We've done that before. I mean, it's a public hearing, so we're opening a can of worms.
I would rather not do it in a public hearing.
Okay, what we'll do is we'll put it in the kitchen.
So you can
You
grab a
guys
slice
can bring
when
it
we're
done.
done.
That's good, very good. That was good discussion, the best discussion we've had. All in favor of the motion? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, cool. So I will get the ball rolling on that. I will send them the information tomorrow so it gets put in the paper for next
Day
week
at 6.
and the following week. Does that work for you?
The 8th, sorry.
On the 8th,
Yeah.
April 8th?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll see you 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
I might need something after that.
And then I will let the commissioners know that this is what we're doing and we do have a plan to move forward. So we're not just, I mean, let's just face it, the last few months have been kind of up in the air because there's just been, lots
A
of,
lot of stuff going on.
yeah. So,
Okay.
okay, cool.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting, because I always forget this, but this meeting, we need a motion to adjourn, don't we?
No.
We don't? The meeting's adjourned.
Oh.
Oh, Bonnie.
Yeah.
I just need my sign.
April 8th at 6 or 6:30 you said?
6.